Hello, Renee Flamont here. You guys, this is a tough one, isn't it? This is, and I get asked a ton how to do this. How do I process this pain? How do I get through this hurt? What do I do with it? I'm here to try to help you figure that out, and I can tell you what worked for me. And I ask that you just listen through because it did help me. First thing I did, and don't get me wrong, it's very difficult to process the pain, but all of these things I'm going to explain to you, this kind of helped me. This is kind of how I looked at it. First thing I did is I filed it under lessons learned in my brain. Don't be like, oh, that's wishy. No, listen. And it helped me right off the start because lessons take time to learn generally, and I did learn some valuable lessons. So this helped me not look at it as all a waste of time, which of course we know is very precious, and that's one of the biggest things that bothers us. Oh, I wasted all that time. Oh, I wasted all that time. Oh, why did I waste all that time? Well, if you file it under lessons learned, then the time spent was valuable. You learned something. It instantly clicks your mind over from you wasted time. No, lessons learned is never a waste of time. We learned that from a very young age. Whatever you go through, you learn something, then it was a valuable experience, right? You might say right away, well, I could have saved myself 20 years. And again, this is just how my mind looks at it. Believe it or not, something worse may have been in store for you for those 20 years had you not been with that person. What could be worse? Oh my goodness. It can always be so much worse. Maybe the 10 years you were wrapped up in your narcissist meant that you weren't having two worse 5-year relationships in that span because you were tied up with that person. Maybe the 2 years, I'd call it all together, that I was with my narcissist saved me from a worse fate. Maybe there was a bigger monster out there that I might have gotten involved with. Let alone if we take the lessons we learn and go forward, how much trouble they will save us in the future. These lessons are invaluable to me, and I have put them to use. I've told you about it in the past videos already. I can spot them 10 miles away. I love that I can spot them 10 miles away. And I don't mean them, a narcissist, kind of I do, but the unhealthy, the person that breaks the boundaries, the person that, whether they're a full-blown narcissist or not, I don't care. I don't want to stick around and try to diagnose them. But the second I see or smell something that I've learned from the narcissist, I'm out. Think of all the future trouble that's going to save me. So I did 2 years of penance or jail, and then it's going to save me, right? Now you might say, well, Renee, I put in 30 years. We got 3 kids and 6 grandkids. Well, then that was your gift. First of all, I'd like to say that, so you want to look at that. That's your gift, right? So how do you process the pain they inflicted? You got gifts out of it. That's easy. I don't mean easy. I'm being facetious. But you got gifts from that. Very measurable gifts if you have children, grandchildren, right? Now you might say, well, I could have done without it, and maybe I would have met somebody else. You can't think like that. Life happens the way it's supposed to unfold. And maybe you going through what you went through is so that you can pass on to your children education that they need. Maybe you, having learned about this narcissism business, will save a friend, a family member, one of your own children or grandchildren from having to deal with someone like this because you have learned. Lessons learned is a huge thing you want to look at to help you process the pain that they inflicted. Because, Did you learn? Of course you did. Being with a narcissist is like taking the master class of all master classes in the psyche of an unhealthy individual. And you now get to take all of that forward with you. I love that part. I'm so wicked smart, like we would say in Rhode Island. I'm so wicked smart now about these types. Like I said, I can see them coming 100 miles away. I can smell it. And I am safe from further harm in this regard. Invaluable. Invaluable time spent. And I wouldn't give up knowing the things I now know for anything, including wiping my slate clean of him. The lessons are too rich. Are you kidding me? They've allowed me to now, my eyes are open. I can see. I know people now. And what it's done is it limits your pickings because you pick through very quickly now. Nope, 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 nope. Whereas before it might have been, maybe, yes, okay, Now I'm like, no. 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 Why? Because of the pain I went through forced me to look at the lessons involved, and now I know. And so do you. Take that and be like, okay, so the pain was worth it. You might say, well, the pain wasn't worth this. Yes, it was. Because it can stop you from further pain, worse pain, repeated pain, again pain. If you get messed up with another person like this, and another person like this, and another person like this. Had I learned one of the first few times, about narcissism and didn't end up with this last guy, I wouldn't have had that pain. But I would have learned from the first round of pain. It just took me a while and a few different kinds of people to learn it. What's happening up here, I'll never know. That little thing looks funny up there. You know what I mean? Another thing that helped me to process the pain is, and this was a big one, this was actually a fun one, I turned my pain into pity, really. And this part really, it's fun. My God, I'm so bad. That's awful. That's like not nice to think that that's fun to change it into pity. But really though, I looked at how pathetic, I have a piece of hair on me, he was. How pathetic his life is. And I just couldn't any longer reconcile feeling pain over someone who is so pathetic, so empty, so off the wall. Out of touch with reality, out of touch with his own self. I felt sort of like any pain morphed into pity for his sad, clown-like, posturing, ugly existence. I pity anyone that comes in contact with him, and I realized how gratefully I was to no longer be one of those unfortunate people in contact with him. The feeling of relief that I had when I changed it to pity, it was like it unburdened me. I was unburdened, and that certainly didn't feel like pain at all. It was euphoric, in fact. I was kind of like I was out from under it, and I had a sense of why I was going to be okay. I was going to be fine, and I knew that. And then it actually began to happen. I began to look at him only with the pathetic lens. Man, that helped beyond anything else. It just does. Because when you're in it and you're feeling the pain and you're loving them and you can't picture snapping out of it, you're still kind of looking at them to be this person over whom you should feel pain. think about how pathetic they are. To get back to that word for a second, think it all the way through. That's my landscapers. I hope you can still hear me. So we're letting pain even be inflicted upon us in the first place by someone substandard, by someone so inadequate. No way, not gonna happen here. At least let me feel pain from someone not so ridiculous and not such a clown. No clown was going to make me feel pain any longer. Period. If I am to feel pain, it's going to be by someone worth it. Kind of like, sort of, you know what I'm saying? So when my brain started to look at it that way, I felt unburdened. My pain was now pity. And I really concentrated on the lessons that I was going to take forward from them inflicting this kind of harm on me. So guess what? I win, narcissist. I win. You've taught me a lot. Thank you so much. Thanks. Thank you. And guess what? I pity you. Like, I used to look at them like this. Like, wow. Like, once you look at them with pity and then you listen to them speak, it was like I would be curt or insipid or glib, or I would come back with little remarks like to make it feel worse. Especially as they wallow in their own life. I was like, well, you know, that's your choices. That's what happens when you make bad choices. Well, you got what you wanted. Well, your attitude changes. There's a shift. There's a shift from, that kills me that just happened again. It changes to, of course it happened again. He's pathetic. He's going to do the same thing to every single person he ever meets. How sad. What a sad, unfulfilled life that person will lead. Thank you for stopping by and teaching me invaluable lessons that I will take forward for the rest of my life so that I can live a healthy, happy life. In love, if I choose to go find that in my world. You cannot. How pitiful. How pitiful. It helped me turn a corner. Processing the pain that you go through is very, very tough. But these things help me look at it differently and snap myself kind of out of it into a different place. And I'm not saying it's easy. My eyes are still itching from the pollen, you guys. 10.4, 10.5, whatever. Oh my God, these days are bad. But it really helped me file it under lesson learned and change that pain into pity. That's the bottom line. And you'll be surprised how much relief that brings you when you start to look at your narcissist in a different way. It creeps up on you. But you have to make a conscious choice to say, first of all right, let me just make peace with the fact that I have learned lessons, or you have your gifts from your narcissist or whatever. You have to move forward from that and stop thinking of anything that you spent with the narcissist as a waste of time. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. Something came from you being with the narcissist that's valuable. It is up to you to determine what that is. And that immediately will make you feel better about wasting your time. It's never a waste of time. I don't think that way in life. Anything you go through leads you to where you are. And so it's all part of your journey. So I want you to give that some thought. I know you're in a tough spot. I had somebody ask me this recently. How do I deal with all of this? What do I do with all of this? This is left in me, and he's off gallivanting and having a good time. Okay. So you need to look at that and say, wow, that's a lesson that really hits you. If somebody can act like they love you, blah, 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 and then be all off having a good time, that's a huge lesson. Some people do that. Some people swindle you. Not everyone is as good as you thought. These are all things you can carry forward for yourself and start to view them as the pathetic clowns that they are. I'm not trying to call names. I truly feel that the word pathetic and the word clown describes their life, describes their being. I'm not trying to name call, I'm really not. But they are absolutely full of, it's everything around them is pathetic. And then you pity the person and say, it's always going to be pathetic. They're never going to get it together. They don't have it together for the person they're with now. You think, oh, they look together. Oh, please. They're not. They never will. It's pathetic. So when you come across feeling like, how am I going to get through this and how am I going to process this pain, I want you to keep all these things in mind, and I think they may help you. Thank you so much for watching. I love it. I love that we're all learning all these things together and really sticking together. We still have that cooperative audience. I love everyone joining in, and please go ahead and hit sub, like, and share, and I'll see you next time.